Oh yes, legends. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. Let's analyze all together the situation here for the price of Bitcoin. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Legends, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. Bitcoin stuck around. I don't think we're going to go very far away for many days, guys. I think it's going to be a bit of a rangy zone. Few $1,000s to the upside, a few thousand to the downside. But it's looking very, very interesting to get ready for the next big move, right? We've had a wonderful move to the downside for all of those people that shorted the market in the last few weeks. And it makes sense for the price to stop and stick around in this area. And this is where you need to create those trading plans ready, right, for the next coming days. And we are here to provide those plans on the slightly higher time frame for the price of Bitcoin. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, if the music's too loud or if it's too low maybe. Let's say hello to the beautiful community. Let's go, let's go. Nice music. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you very much. I'll be going through the comment section right away. First of all, the quick disclaimer, very important, muy importante. This content is for educational purposes only, guys, and is not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision. We try and make it accurate and complete, but it's not always like that, right? Just a big disclaimer there for you guys. Let's say hello to the beautiful community. Go Andy, Le Kid 23. Andy's a legend maker. Much love, my man. Much love. We are here to create legends eventually in YouTube, on YouTube, in the trading community. A lot of education. You have the power to become an absolute legend. That's no doubt about it. Axikuno, much love. Hello. Sanko, let's go, my man. Much love. Hello, Andy. Bath Maria Vallecos, much love to you. Put on mascara praton. Hello, my man. Much love. Is it mascara? Mascarapton. Some of these names, I can't read them. Much love. Just joined the Mind Pillar yesterday. Amazing community and a plethora of knowledge. Thank you so much for that kind comment. We have this incredible chance for people to join the community right now, the trading community, which is Bitcoin updates. We get setups ready. It's not mainly scalping, right, where we're just getting now, or and you're going to lose the opportunity. We get the community ready on the levels and scenarios so they have some time to actually check out those updates. We are absolutely banging with the updates, with the scenarios. We have the crypto chat. We do have other markets as well. We just integrated silver, done a bit of S&P 500 today, getting things ready for the next coming hours, even the next coming days, guys. And we, it's not only I provide the scenarios, it's actually a community, okay? It's a full-on community with Bitcoin scenarios and setups and education, other markets, crypto chat, a chart channel as well where people share their charts. Make sure to take advantage of this that's going on at the moment. DM me the word access, guys, and I'll just share the instructions so you can get 2 months for free. It's super simple. You just need to sign up to one of the affiliates, minimum deposit for your own trading, and get inside of the trading community right away so you can see the value, just like this guy is saying in the comment section. Much love to you. Much appreciated. Okay, send me the DM right away. You got my Telegram on the first link. Get 2 months, guys, for free. Okay, let's go right away. Unwellness, how are you doing? Hello, legend. Hi, Andy. Distance, nice music. Thank you very much. Jig, much love. What's up, Andy? Crypto Decker, guys. Let's go right. Sound is good. Thank you very much. All fine with the music and the microphone. Simple 3 Jack. Hi, Andy and people. Much love to you. Leave the music. The BTC is too low. Yes, it is. Put on mascara. Okay. Much love to you, my man. Enough love, bro, from Lebanon. Much love from Lebanon right over here. We've got people from all around the world. Yo, BTC too slow. It is slow, but come on. We got a pretty significant move last week, and we understand that it is time to be slow. We were explaining yesterday that we could be in a wave 4 formation, right? From the latest drop that we got from $98,000. Karim, afternoon. So it makes sense for the price to slow down. Okay, we got some significant volatile moves throughout the last 2 weeks to the downside ever since we created that move to the upside, right, to almost hit $98,000. Completing this move as a corrective move right over here, 3-wave structure, very strong impulse. We're looking for that wave 2 or wave B, right? We you know, this is cooking. It's cooking for that movement down, guys. We probably have a few days till we actually break down what correction are we going to form here. Is it a simple, you know, flat, or is it going to be a running flat, or is it going to be a triangle? Lots of corrective scenarios, right? Coming to the conclusion that, you know, what we're analyzing here is to get this movement down, really. So that movement has happened, and it was pretty big. Lots of volume, bigger than this move, and now it's where it becomes interesting. Now it's where we need to, as technical analysts, look for the highest probability move. Now, of course, the price action can pop out, right? Get one of those movements that you don't expect, either to the upside, it pumps, you know, $5,000, or it breaks down $5,000, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But we can get ready for those movements. That's what it's all about, right? We'll be ready for the scenarios that we move up. We're ready for the scenarios that move down. So there's not much trading opportunities. I mean, rest of the markets have been relatively slow also. But Bitcoin has been quite slow ever since we created the stream yesterday, which we were trading in this area. This is what we made, right? 1,000 up, 1,000 down, right? 1,500 maybe or so. I mean, there are opportunities. We spoke about our opportunity yesterday. You know, I think the best one, if you wanted to speculate on a, you know, little scalp position to the downside, is by tapping into these highs right over here. We didn't quite create a nice SFP, I have to say, okay? But, you know, this was mentioned yesterday. You know, if you want to look for a little trade setup as we were trading here yesterday in this zone, it could form a running flat. You know, this is no territory to do anything, if you ask me, where we were trading yesterday. If we get to 79.3k, treat it as a little scalp, because this range could continue. We could form a little flag, we could form a zigzag, you know, and we actually continue this range for many days, okay, throughout this week. So, you know, if you did get into this trade, we said, you know, treat it as a scalp. You're making a 2-3 to 1 risk reward, you know, get out, because we don't have any major direction at the moment that it's going to go to, you know, $70,000 or $65,000 to the downside, or we're going to pump to, you know, plus $90,000. That is unlikely to happen in the coming days. Okay, so yeah, we can talk about scalp scenarios throughout the end of the stream on the 15-minute, 5-minute time frame. But I want to talk about the general idea of what we are looking at, guys. What's the high probability scenarios in the next coming days, which is going to be very, very rangy. Okay, we don't expect any big volatility, as we already got that throughout the previous week. Big move to the downside. Usually after these big waves, you start looking at exhaustion or potentially a reversal, right? As the thumbnail has said, you know, are we going to get that relief rally? Is it loading? Everything points out that despite taking out the lows again in the next coming days, you know, that relief rally of several $1,000s is very, very real. And that's literally what we're going to be talking about, making you understand that breaking down from here at this stage, you know, to go to $60,000, which we might see in the next coming months, right? Maybe a few weeks, but it's not going to happen in the very short term, in my personal opinion, just because the market moves in waves. And despite that we are in a bear market, we still move in waves. We still get those bounces and those ranges, right? So we're going to be covering that, of course. Much love to everybody. Thank you for joining today's live stream. Let's smash up that like button. We got over 200 people watching the stream at the moment. Let's do a like recount. I'm sure we're above the 100. I'm heavily mistaken. We are at 38, so that's not good enough. Over 200 people and only 38 likes. That is not good enough, guys. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. We talk about some scenarios, okay? I know we want some volatility and we want some trading setups. I mean, the only setup that we talked on the lower time frame that should be treated as a scalp was this one right over here, right? So, you know, we did tap into the highs and we got this rejection of $1,000, $1,500. you know, it's a scalp. It's a valid scalp scenario. So we'll get into some scalping levels, okay? But I'm interested in the bigger moves, right? We are interested in, you know, a little bit of a big move. What are we looking at on the higher, you know, larger picture? Because that's where we can get into some pretty significant big trades. I have to say, you know, I didn't get into the biggest short ever. You know, this is the opportunity to really short the market big, but I'm happy with the profits that were made. I got into a small position here, added to the position, realizing that, you know, this is already confirming that it is corrective. As soon as we lost 88.7, this was last week. I'm not sure if you were around, guys. If we lose 88.7, you know, the scenario of having multiple 1-2s, a 3 and 4 5s here to form that flat scenario to then roll over. As soon as we lost that low, that's it. It's either the flat here or either a triangle. And we're looking for this movement down, right? It's a matter of days that this is going to happen. You know, just a few days later, we're already breaking down. So most of the profits have been taken, over 50%. It's just such a good zone to leave some open. And I did actually get a DM of somebody saying, when are you going to close your short, like completely? Are you looking for bounces, right? Shouldn't you, right, really start looking for longs and closing this short position completely? And I have to say, you know, that we still could form another low. We could still form another low. I'm going to keep it simple because I was in a long position from this zone. Anybody that's in the channel, well, has been watching the channel in the last few weeks, knows that I actually got into a long position here, and I closed most of the position, okay, as soon as we lost 88.7 and added to the existing short. So I didn't take profit at the Pico highs. This is very hard, right? And there wasn't a major level. If we would have tapped into 91.1, then that's an obvious, especially if you SFP, to just really collect profits and look for the major short position. But instead of taking profits at the high here, took profits at the low, understanding that this is no longer bullish, right, to get multiple 1-2s and break out in a third wave. And what we're likely forming here is either a triangle or that running flat is finished. So you understand that, you know, this is primed to go lower, and at any long position that was taken throughout the previous week from 86K, this is actually a pretty snipey trade long. You know, 2,500 move to the upside. You know, it's decent to make some good profits. But, you know, when would I close completely that short position? I mean, we are in a bear market and it is a pretty solid level. But if we do bounce, and of course, I'm missing out on profits here, all the way up from where we are at the moment. If the price were to bounce to 84.3K without taking out this low, I would already, you know, look to take some profits at any corrective moves or, you know, any rejections that happen after the pump. Because you might think, wow, you're missing out on, you know, over a $5,000 move. But that's the moment that you know that it is not weak anymore. This could convert into an ABC if that pivot is hit. I wouldn't expect a major rally to come to my entry, right? Or, you know, from anybody that shorted in the last 2 weeks. I would expect some kind of a pullback, but we need to get there with some kind of an impulse, right? And then on the rejection is where I would be taking most of the profits. So that's a little bit of the plan. As long as we don't get a sign of strength and a potential market reversal that is proven to happen, which is by hitting the $84,300 level, which is the golden pocket to invalidate a wave 4 here, then that's the moment I need to take profits on any corrections to the downside and really look for long positions. Because, you know, if we do get a bounce to that level without claiming the lows, if we do form a little bit of a range in the coming days, right, it might be multiple 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, boom, right? We get a third wave up, right? And we start forming an impulse here in the next 1 to 2 weeks. That will be surprising, but it is a possibility. So if we do hit that level, then obviously the correction, it is going to be very, very attractive, potentially to get into a long if we can detect that correction. Because that there is that possibility of forming a flat. And I have no doubt that if we rally from this zone all the way up here, I would be looking for a wave 1, wave 2, right? Wave 3, and, you know, obviously a wave 4 and 5 here to form that ABC flat. Expanding flat potential as well, you know, get above 98K. So would be very interested in looking for swing longs in this case to have an attempt to get above $98,000, but we need the first wave, right? This is the higher time frame 4-hourly chart. We don't have any of this yet, right? So that first initial pump in an impulse needs to happen in there. That would take a few days eventually, right? Give or take 5, 6, maybe over a week to develop, because this is the 4-hourly time frame. So that's when I would take most of the profits of that short position, you know, as soon as we get to 84.6 and we start correcting in that range. So does it make sense to long from here, catching the low, right, without tapping into that April higher low, which, you know, would be quite disturbing if we do not hit it and we get a significant rally in the next few weeks. It would be a little bit disturbing. I would say that this would be more, it would be, you know, kind of a confirmation that this is bearish, because we talked about this throughout last week, where yes, there is a chance of this being an ABC flat, right? Where you have a 3-wave down, double zigzag up, and you have the impulsive move to the downside, and it would be an ABC flat. However, a running flat it would be a running flat, because the lows of the A wave was not taken, just by less than $100, but still that means it's a running flat. And running flats are rare. They are rare. So any bounce from here, if we were to get a rally, you know, I would really say that, you know, this is an A wave down, high probability, either a wave 1 or a wave 8, and what we're looking at is for a wave B or a wave 2 here. And, you know, just to get that next leg down throughout the next coming months. So it's still bearish naturally. If we were to rally, I would be very interested in shorts again, right? But head and shoulder, right, as the thumbnail, kind of makes a lot of sense. If we were to get that bounce, okay, I would be very much looking for a lower high. You know, we are in a bear market. I wouldn't even get too excited on the movement up here. We'll be analyzing the waves naturally, okay, to understand the scenarios if we either move down or move up from here. But it won't be bullish, in my opinion, right? It won't be bullish. So where we are at the moment, we're coming down to such a big solid zone, all right? We have the highs here from 2024. It's a big level, right? It's a higher time frame resistance support flip territory. So I would not expect a successful breakdown here on the first attempts, which is kind of, you know, we haven't even reached the April higher low. So the market's been a little bit cheeky here. It's an awesome swing failure pattern. I have to say it is an awesome swing failure pattern level. You know, tap it and get that relief rally in the next couple of weeks, but that low was not hit yet. So that's where we need to focus on this wave. We need to focus on this last wave from the last couple of weeks. That's where we need to put our energy and focus on to understand where we at, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to zoom in on the 4-hourly, 1-hourly, and go through those scenarios. There's no big trades, as explained. You know, we did tap into the range highs, okay, and, you know, it was valid for a little scalp, as explained yesterday. You know, it is valid for a little scalp, not even, you know, with the potential of coming down to the lows, but treat it as so, because we could be ranging here and even getting to above 80K, you know, in the next coming days. It's just going to form possibly a complex range, which is very common for a wave 4. So only little scalps in the ranges here, no big moves yet to be taken. So coming back to to here, there's lots of supports. We got the point of control of this range, right, of 2024. We got the head and shoulder structure, right, neckline, if you wish. Very, very common for a relief to form the right shoulder potentially. There's lots of support. Still becomes a very, very solid swing failure pattern low, okay, at from the April higher lows. Very, very solid level. It's a guideline. We should treat this as a guideline. Any movement to the downside that is reclaiming that level, you can use. I'm already happy with a wick. I would give a bit of room for stop loss because I wouldn't go in very heavily in this kind of position. We can always add to the long once we see a sign of strength. But some people would say, we need to close a daily candle or a 4-hourly candle or a 15-minute candle above the level, and then we can long. It depends on the strategy. I'm already aggressive with a wick down beneath the level on the lower time frame and getting back above. Would be happy for attempting this long position that might come in the next coming days. So that's a higher time frame thing to be ready for. You also have this major point of control at 67. I would really treat this area as a swinging trade long zone, okay, for a larger bounce, potentially to the 90k levels, and even heading above 98k. It has the potential. So we'll break down the lower time frame, which is most important. But the main reason of coming up here and looking for long positions here for a local bounce for the coming weeks is because of the significant support that we have here, right? It's just a big level. It's a neckline literally at this point, and it's a resistance support flip, and the highest volume node is really at the top of the range here, so there's not too much room. You could wick it, you could get down below 70k, but I really do think that this zone is going to provide some good support. So it's a matter of being patient on the higher time frame for that swing long attempt, right? Just being patient, right? I know a lot of people want moves now. What's the next move? What's the next scalp? And I do try and provide it, as we had yesterday. Man, we haven't gone anywhere since we did the live stream yesterday here. We were trading in this zone and, very difficult level. We could have a few more moves to the upside. This could turn into an impulse. It does look impulsive. And, there's no big moves. Of course, tapping into these highs of the range with that fair value gap is the only attempt that I would see. So I will break down some intraday scalp setups later on. We're going to plan them. We're just going to be patient. That could happen later on today. Where we are at the moment, it's a little bit of a triangle, a lot of overlap. Not interested in this area. I will build up some scenarios for you just so we're ready, and later on throughout the stream looking at the 15-minute, 5-minute time frame to see if we can come with a little entry scalp position, right? As we explained yesterday, which we just slightly tapped the highs. It wasn't a proper wick, I have to say, okay, but it wasn't a proper wick up. It just gently tapped the highs. Maybe on some exchanges it did create a little wick, but this was the overall trading idea for that little scalp short at 79.3k, which we did get a move of over $1,000 to the downside, which was pretty much valid. Just a little scalp. So right, let's break down now the 4-hourly time frame, right, and explain the good thing about technical analysis. You need to zoom out on the higher time frame and understand a little bit where you at. But overall, I'm not seeing a successful breakdown in the next coming days below $74,000. Yeah, we can tap 72, maybe 70k. It could actually be a bit volatile, get a little bit of a squeeze here of a volatile move down of a few $1,000s, but I'm not looking for the successful breakdown to go down to 60k, right? And even 50k. So I do expect this territory to hold nicely if it is revisited right beneath the lows that we created at 74.4. And there's one main reason why. That I don't see that happening, breaking down successfully. It was because we had a significant move to the downside last week. This is a very large move down. This was a pretty big move. And this is what we're talking about when we consider a big move. A $15,000 move on Bitcoin is a big move, right? With volume. We already got the big move last week. We don't have major big moves consistently, right? So a stop and a range, tap the lows, tap some highs, and reject and bounce, form a little consolidation is very much expected at this moment, because the big move already happened, and it's not common to get a big move and then follow through in a few days for another similar big move or even larger one, right? Not expected, but expect the unexpected, they say. But anyway, we look at what's more common, and it's not common for that to happen. So we are ready for, okay, well, what are you looking for, right? So, what are you looking for if that's not common? And that's what I want to explain in the live stream right now. So we covered this yesterday, the ultimate bullish case scenario. It's quite easy to detect that we've formed a three-wave move here, right? You don't have to have extreme knowledge to understand that this is, for the moment as it stands, from 98k rejection, just under 98k, we got a three-wave move for the moment. Can it turn into a five-wave move in the next coming days? Or will we start recovering at this point in a bullish structure and tap, 84.3, which is the invalidation for your wave 4, which is the golden pocket from the last lower high of last week at 90.3 to the low, right? That's what is more interesting at the moment here, to understand a little bit of the direction. If it is going to be a three-wave structure to the downside, which has the potential, if it is going to be an ABC, right, then we have the possibility of that larger ABC flat as explained yesterday, right? That could take out the highs. Maybe it turns into a running flat. We don't know. But ultimately, for this scenario, what we want to see is the first leg up, right? Because a C wave of a large 4-hourly time frame potential flat, where you got a three-wave up in A wave, you can only have the A wave forming a three-waver in a flat. An A wave in a zigzag is always a 5-wave move, but in a flat it is a three-waver. You have this sharp three-wave down for the moment, that it's actually hitting the common target area of the flat zones. When you take a look at the Fibonacci extension, you get the low of your A wave with Fibonacci extension tool to the top, and the common target area of the B wave of a flat is the 1236 to the 1382. Expanding flats are the most common flats when we look at the market. So we're literally there. We're literally at the common target zone of a B wave of a flat between the 1236 and the 1382. Expanding flat, that is, as the most common flat. We are there. That's where we're sitting. And it's a coincidence that it is actually at the lows of April, that higher low, right? And when we're starting to get a lot of support. So you need to think here about, what, this is actually possible. There is a possibility for that short squeeze to happen in this bear market, to get a significant bounce, significant rally bounce, right? To form that 5-wave move in the next coming weeks, right? Throughout February, maybe part of March. However, you need some consistent bullish market structure here. Remember, this is the 4-hourly time frame. When we take a look at the 15-minute, this is a bunch of noise at the moment. This is nothing. There's no, this could be a flat. You could form a WXY. It's just we don't have anything at the moment when we consider, a proper shift here in an impulse. Looking at the 4-hourly time frame, we only dropped down here a few days ago, and it's still very noisy. A lot of overlap. And for the bullish case scenario here, we would have to see some kind of an impulse or multiple 1-2s getting developed here on the lower time frame. So, you know, just as an example, you know, if this is your, if this is going to be a wave 1, that's your wave 2 on the formation here. It's very, very shallow. You know, we do have some support, interesting support down here. There is a daily, and it's a level that we, you know, it is interesting to pay attention at the value area low of this range that we formed in the last few days and that daily level, because a fake out from that level and a reclaim can be interesting, especially, and this is the perfect moment to detect those bullish scenarios. It really is. This is very shallow for a pullback to speculate. I know maybe some people are going to say it's a bull flag right there, right? And we're going to pop out, right? Simple. It's just long altogether, right? No, it's not that simple, unfortunately. But it has the potential, without a doubt. You know, it's still very shallow. We haven't even hit the 382 Fibonacci, and I don't want to participate in any speculative longs until we have a confirmed corrective structure, we hold support, and we get bullish CVD divergence, and I can identify that this is a correction. This is the zone where there's, you know, there's opportunities naturally, right? I want to show you an example of a first leg up before you get some more upside momentum. Trying to give you a few examples here. Even this, I mean, this leg to the upside, the overlap, the structure here, you know, we want to identify that we do have a corrective move. I mean, it's better to go to the lower time frame really, because on the 4 hourly here, a lot of noise, especially in this zone. But I want to explain it here regardless on the 15 minute, right? Where, you know, talking about the bullish case, right? Where, you know, is this scenario possible? And I have to say, of course it is, right? You know, it's not about being right or wrong. It's all about understanding the possibility and how you have the max probability on your side, because trading is all about having the highest probability move once you've analyzed the structure in your side, right? The highest probability movement, and this is looking for a bigger swing eventually, long position with the potential of taking out $98,000. It's too soon. It's too soon. Market is very bearish. We could be forming a wave 4 here in the coming days, you know, and then take out the low. Then I'm interested in the longs, which will be explained, of course, okay, throughout the stream. But you know, for this scenario, right, getting a major rally in the next few weeks with the possibility of hitting $98,000, it has a possibility. How do we identify the initial stages of that so we can position ourselves, right? Because you have the most risky scenario, you know, the riskiest way is to try and catch the lows, but catching the lows, you know, is challenging. If you don't hit a major level, I'm in no long position. I'm not in a long position because we haven't hit the April higher lows. I didn't catch the local double bottom because I was asleep. We did talk about it on a stream a few days ago, where, you know, you can look for the April lows or look for a double bottom, you know, reclaim it, entry, stop loss. You know, we got a little rally of a couple of $1,000. You know, there's I was asleep already. This was early in the morning, so I probably would have attempted it once we got a bit of volatility here. It's just a shallow stop, 2-3 to 1 risk reward. It's just a good entry, you know. Catching the lows is challenging, right? At the end of the day, catching the lows is challenging. So as explained on yesterday's stream, you know, it doesn't matter if you haven't shorted here. You can try and attempt some shorts in this area as the swing to take out $80,000, as that is the highest probability. So this is what we want to explain here on the higher time frame. You know, get that bounce, get that impulse, get that move to the upside, right? So we can have some ideas that, you know, this is probably going to rally to much higher levels as we are changing the structure here very solidly. So in that case, I'm not interested yet to speculate on the long position, right? This is what it takes. Patient trader. There's some little scalps there and there, you know, like the short here that was explained yesterday, from testing the highs of the range. But this for me is a shallow pullback. I do not want to get into a long here as a bull flag and we're going to pop out. I mean, it could happen, but you know, this is not part of my strategy. It's not part of identifying the highest probability move. This could be an ABC running flat, okay? And well, actually it is just a regular flat at this point because we did tap into the highs. So, you know, this could be a flat and you're building up multiple 1-2s at this point and you just break down in you know, so there's no clear signs. This could be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, right? 1, 2, 3, running flat, a regular flat, and then you got multiple 1-2s, break down in a 3-wave, 4-5, right? You come down to the April lows where you bottom out, right? And you reclaim, and then you get the reversal. That I'm interested in looking for longs once you get the exhaustion down here or the SFP. But right now, to speculate on a big reversal to look for longs because this is a bull flag, absolutely not. I'm taking into consideration the general structure, which is down 1, 2, 3. This could be a flat, and now we're building multiple 1-2s, and we absolutely tank in the coming hours, right? There's no high probability that, you know, for me to believe that we're going to get that rally here to the upsides. But looking at this structure to the downside, if this is going to be, you know, multiple 1-2s or either an ABC movement, right, or a WXY, could be a WXY, you know how you can identify that it is corrective? When you get the big move down. If the third wave fails to continue to the downside to test the lows, I don't know if this is going to happen, right? This could, this could literally be a corrective shallow correction and we pop out. You know, it is possible, but what I would want to see is the third wave, the big move down, right? If we do get a big move to the downside and it fails, it reclaims, okay, to the upside here, that's where it looks interesting for this to be a corrective structure. Because the third wave down, you want 3, right, 4, 5, right? You want an impulse to be on the formation here. 1-2s, 3, 4, 5s, right, coming to the below 74K region. So the third wave here, we got some support, we got a daily, we got the value area low. Potentially there is a little naked point of control here in this zone. Yeah, well, probably a little bit lower. But that's what I would want to see here. A fake out, okay, of the daily, the value area low, create that movement to the downside whenever that happens. And if this movement to the downside does not get continuation and it gets back inside here, that is the moment that I'll say, okay guys, this looks very corrective. You know, there is a good chance that this could be your first wave 1 and 2 here, to then either break in a third wave or an ABC or a 1-2, 1-2, and bang, right? You actually start rocketing here to the upside in the coming days. But that's what I need to identify. And as this is a shallow pullback, I have nothing to do here to speculate on long positions. I have nothing to do. There's nothing I can do right now with the information so that there is a high probability on my side. Right? It's just, I can't do anything. And trading is all about waiting, analyzing what you want to see. It's not always like that, but you understand how the market can move. And if this is an ABC flat for the internal wave 4 on the lower time frame, right, as we were discussing, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is multiple 1, 2s, you break down in a third wave 4, 5 right over here to finish your fifth wave below 74k. If that move down that is going to get some power fails to continue to the downside and reclaims, this is going to be looking sexy for a correction. And this could be either a wave A or a wave 1. That's your wave 2 or your wave B. We're looking for those highs to be taken again, which could get the breakout, fill that fair value gap. There's not much resistance till we get to 81k territory, at least. I mean, it's still a good move of $4,000-$5,000. That's what I want to see here. As explained yesterday, there's nothing to do. There's a little scalp if you want to attempt it here at 79.3, but not even coming down to the lows, because I understand that we might not come down to the lows. It's just a little movement, and I've been proven that is the case. We've tapped into the level and we're still literally ranging here. There's no big moves, there's nothing happening. So that's what I want to see. Okay, just a brief explanation to understand, how do we identify this entry point? As soon as we reclaim that daily and the value area low with a significant rally, okay, there is that bearish case that this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Multiple 1, 2s, another 1, 2, and then you just break down a third wave. Well, that's why you have stops. Stops exist for some reason. What if that scenario does not play out? Well, this is how I would play it. Basically my long entry here would be on the first retracement after the reclaim. I want a hard reclaim here above the daily and the value area and the value area low, literally, and the stop loss is the low of the fake out. I would be targeting not only the highs, but have the potential that this could be a swing trade that maybe is the one that gets up to 98k. There's a bit of wishful thinking at this point, but if you want to get into the low, if you didn't get into this low, well, it's your game plan is to get into the higher low, next higher low, right? Before you start rallying to the upside. So that's a little bit of the internal plan. If we are going to be bullish, I don't know, we could break down, and if you do break down, then naturally I'm not getting into the long, right? Because I understand that this could be a bunch of 1, 2s, or a 1 flat 2, another 1, 2, and then you start breaking down already here. We break down, we get high volume. That's it, right? We're looking for an impulse to develop here in this zone to take out the lows. But if that third wave, right, gets this, I understand that this is highly likely corrective. And that's where I want to position myself, at least to take the highs of the range, right? And then, naturally you could form that inverted head and shoulder, right, as well, where you have the inverted head and shoulder situation. So it's, getting into the right shoulder instead of the breakout of the neckline is ideal, right? Because what happens on a lot of head and shoulder structures where you have the neckline and people, the main classic way of an inverted head and shoulder is to get into the long on the breakout, right? Retest, which does happen. It does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't, but this could also be a ABC. You test, you fake out literally, and then you move down, right? Lots of fake outs of an inverted head and shoulder because you just formed an ABC movement to the upside, right? So where's the best way and best area to get into, a possible inverted head and shoulder where you want to, long the right shoulder, right? That's where you want to long, just in case you fake out from the neckline. So identifying that right shoulder in this case is that third wave failing to get continuation to the downside. That is the trigger. Once you start moving above and reclaiming all of those levels, and especially if you get to the recent lower highs with that pump, that would be an ultimate confirmation that what you're looking at here is corrective. Now here's where the complex scenarios happen, and that needs to be explained, of course. You know, when you do have a flat here and you form a zigzag down, this could be a W and this could be a wave X, and even though you do have this movement here, it could turn into a flat and then you move down in a wave Y, right? So you know, we need to have stops. There's not enough information to say that we are going to get that reversal, but it could be a solid attempt, okay, for that scenario, to get that movement to the upside in a 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. We move higher. It's all about attempting the possibility. Of course, you could form a flat here and then come back down to the lows, form that larger WXY, which it is what it is. There was actually a pretty interesting WXY possibility a few weeks ago. We explained that, right? You got one right over here, which is literally you know, what I explained, but you know, where you have the flat potential here, right? Look at this price action. It's actually quite similar to the one that we have today. Not the same, but similar, right? Where you have the flat potential first of all, and what you have here is the flat. I know, guys, this is like really down, you know, really deep analysis here regarding Elliott wave theory. It's not very great to follow up if you don't have some Elliott wave knowledge, but you know, you got that flat here, you got the zigzag. Look at this. So this three wave, that third wave failed. We did take out the highs, so I mean, this would have been a good attempt already on its own. We are forming a little bit of a triangle scenario here on Bitcoin right now, right? There's something very similar happening here after forming what we formed in the last few days. My point here of what I just explained is we are currently trading somewhere in this area for Bitcoin, right? We've got a similar kind of a rangy triangle, whatever it is, right? So you've got the flat scenario and a little bit of a range right there, as you can see. Let's zoom out, go to last week's price action and see literally what I explained. If you get that movement down at this point from this range, if this is going to be multiple 1-2s, the third wave, you want it to follow through and form the 4 and 5, right? You want it to be impulsive. But if the third wave fails, okay, to the upside, okay, and starts overlapping the lows, you realize that, hey, this is a good chance that it could be a 3-wave corrective structure. And on that correction move here, stop loss at the low, it's almost stopped, but stop loss needs to go where it needs to go. And you're targeting the highs, literally, right? Stop loss at the low, you're targeting the highs with the possibility of breaking out. But of course, this ended up in a swing failure pattern. We actually talked about this short a couple of weeks ago in a larger WXY. But you get the point, right? It is a setup. You realize that the third wave is failing to continue down in 4-5s. You get that movement up. This zone becomes interesting for a long stop loss at the low to target the highs. Risk reward is not that great, about a 2-to-1 risk reward, but still it has the potential of going higher. Then you just protect position. But we discussed here in this range a few weeks ago. I haven't got the video now. I was showing the video throughout last week's price action that this had a good possibility of being a flat W, zigzag down in a wave Y, in a wave X, sorry, and then a flat, okay, in your wave Y right there, forming that swing failure pattern to look for a short to take out the lows. So the problem is where we are at the moment. I'm sorry for all of this, guys. You know, it's probably a little bit too deep. This is a big issue at the moment, what we have here, because you know, we could be forming a larger range, unfortunately. Okay, this could be forming a larger range, and this is what I want to explain on the slightly higher time frame. Okay, so but as explained, we already have a chance, if we get a movement down and we get back up, to at least take out this high, because this is looking corrective. So the point here is, this a wave 1 and a wave 2? we break out in a wave 3, or we form another 1-2 and then we break out. Still positioned? Or is it going to, it could be an A wave, then a B wave, and then a C wave. That's possible. Then we roll over or whatever. Or could it be a larger WXY where you have a flat zigzag down in your wave X, and then you form another flat here in wave Y, and then you come down, right? It doesn't really matter, but positioning yourself, you know, to take out these highs, and then we'll see what happens. It, you know, comes in this zone if you fail with that third wave. You know, it really comes in this territory to take that decision. That's this decision point. I'm not sure if we're going to get that move down, come into the daily value area low, create that fake out. But if it does, I know what I'm looking for, right? So it's all about, I know what I'm looking for if the movement down fails. You know, I'm looking for these high to be taken with the potential breaking out. And that's where I want to position myself with stop at the low. So that's a little bit of a plan here for the long. That does mean, you know, if we do form on the higher time frame that very speculative ABC running flat or regular flat, okay, where you have a 3-wave move up, 3-wave move down, and you know, we in the next coming weeks we form that 5-wave to the upside. Of course, you on the lower time frame, it is interesting to get positioned down here, right, instead of being bullish here. Right, so that's what we try to detect, right? We try to detect the movements, right? We don't have crystal ball, even though I have crystal balls, but we try to detect the possibilities here, right? It's all about the possibilities and probabilities, and realizing when the bears are failing and when the bulls are failing also, or winning. You know, it's all a map, right? The technical analysis and trading, it's all about figuring out where you are at in the map. So that's one scenario locally here if we want to participate in that potential larger move up for the next 1 to 2 weeks. It's not clear yet, unfortunately. Very, very shallow pullback here, you know, very shallow pullback. This could still be a flat 1 to 1 2 breakdown 3 4 5. If that is the case, looking for longs down here without a doubt on that exhaustion or that reclaim of the April lows. It is a zone to look for longs, guys. It's not a zone to be scared about the drop and start calling for $50,000 Bitcoin, because there is a very, very good chance we bounce here from, you know, this 74 to 70k region. The low 70k area is a high probability bouncing zone, and that obviously comes with the idea of, you know, if we've had the largest move down here, we want to be a little bit cautious, because it's not impossible to break down here, right, and move another $10,000 in the coming days. It's not impossible, and that's where, you know, we need to manage risk. Don't get too greedy. You just need to position yourself with a comfortable size that you know, you're okay in losing if stop loss is hit. Don't get into the death spiral of adding to long positions, right, or adding to short positions, because that's the full recipe to get wrecked. Okay, we don't do that. You can add to a position if you're going to be 0.5% to a max zone of 2 to 3% maximum. You need to have that rule that you never risk more than 3%. Some people like to stretch it to 5%, but you know, you need to have a limit. You need to have a limit always for your stop loss, always, right? Because if not, you will fail. You will fail. I've failed many times. I've done it once, again and again and again and again, till there is a point that you don't do it anymore. You just don't do it anymore, because you know, if you're tired of losing, you know, where's your mistakes? The mistakes is adding to position and not having proper plans and being patient to wait for the price to actually come to you. And it's that simple. And obviously risk management is a very, very strong play in the career of a trader. But it's good to burn yourself in trading. It's good. The best way of learning is to create the mistakes once and once again. So it's very, very common for that, and it happens to everybody. Okay, so I do get DMs, and it happens to everybody. Everybody goes through that stage. There's not a single trader out there that hasn't had a horrible first 6 months to 2 years, even 3 years, right? Some people take a little bit longer to actually get their feet in the ground and create the trading plans and wait for the best opportunities. So anyway, I'm just letting you know how I'm looking for the structure, what I need to see. I mean, this would be one of my first things that I would look for. We got a nice daily level, fresh daily level. We got the value area low. If this level is lost and it's not reclaimed successfully, I have no interest in longing at the moment. So if the price were to break, let's talk about shorts as well, naturally, because we are downtrending, okay? But longs are looking very, very interesting, right? This is one of those areas where you understand on the higher time frame. We'll talk about some short scenarios now in just 1 second. But this is one of those areas that you need to be excited for looking for longs. Shorts, should have been taken in the last few weeks, realizing that the target is to take out $80,000. That's already happened. And when you understand the power of Elliott waves, right, and how the market moves, the biggest move already happened here. So it's either we're forming an ABC flat, or we actually forming a fourth wave in this zone that's going to take a few days. It is going to take a few days. And we take out the low one more time. It might be 74K. It might be, 69K. But then we're looking for the reversal. So, looking for longs, understanding either the ABC flat or the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the bigger bounce is what is interesting here at the moment. I understand that a bounce is highly likely to happen. So you need to get ready and understand what you're looking for. Of course, you have the bottom catchers and the people that saying, I'm longing now. Or maybe you get, the double bottom, this was acceptable double bottom that we mentioned yesterday. This could be a wave, internal wave 4, I think we talked about, as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a local double bottom or the April higher lows. If you want to catch the low, potentially for the next coming weeks, obviously take some profits at the highs, because if we are talking about this being a wave 4, it is common for the bounce to get above the wave 4. So if this were to be that wave 4 and 5, the bounce came to the first target zone if you're long in a 5th wave, which is always the wave 4. I always explain that. But you're positioned, right? Maybe taking 40% profit and you're in that long still and hoping for the best. Now, if you're in that long position that we mentioned a few days ago, when we were trading somewhere in this zone, right? Taking out the low for the double bottom, position yourself, stop loss, get the bounce. I see very, very common a back test of a double bottom. A back test of a double bottom is actually, it is common to see. And that's what I explained. If we were to get that movement to the downside here, maybe you're long somewhere here and it stops you out at break even and you get that rally. This is going to be a zone to attempt the long again to take out the highs. Okay, so you're getting out of that long position. You jump in later on after the reclaim and that rally. Okay, understanding that taking out, 79K is very, very likely, 79.3 maybe with a breakout. So doesn't matter to get wicked out. You want to collect some profits. Obviously now leave some open, 50%, 40%. If you get wicked out on the back test, this is a dangerous long position, I have to say. You do not know if this is a flat and this is 1-2s, 1-2s, and you break down here. right? And then you think, oh, I'm going to long the higher low, inverse head and shoulder, whatever. You might get it right, but where you have high probability in getting it right is the reclaim of the value area low daily, and understanding once you get that pump up to get into the territory of the lower highs, you're no longer looking for a 1-2-1-2 here. If this is the bigger move, that's low probability, because multiple 1-2s, your second 1-2 is not really large usually. Okay, it can happen, but it's rare. So if you get that move up to almost take out the highs or get into this territory, it's likely that this is a three-wave correction. So that's where it becomes interesting to long. Okay, it's just getting some things ready for people that are a little bit confused and not know what we're looking at here. So that's an interesting take on that. And let's go with, for short positions, I'll tell you what, if we were to break out from here, see if I do have some levels here, previous week and previous month levels, where are you? Here. Well, we're currently at previous month close from January, which is at, naturally it's here. There is a bit of a fair value gap here. There's a big zone of a bit of nothing here, right? I think this zone could be broken easily. There's no quick shorts between $81,000 and $79,000, I have to say. And you got that, kind of inverted head and shoulder scenario as well, right? Which you end up breaking out and getting a larger pump. So there's no interesting shorts where we at, or actually coming back above these highs. Yesterday, it was okay to attempt it because of the flat scenario. As explained yesterday, right? I do see this being a flat, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. You might create that 4-5 or a couple of 4-5s here, and it could be a little intraday scalp right there. But that's because we have a flat. We have we have the structure to believe that we're going to reject from 79.3 again. But if we get back above now, I'm not interested. This is not. If we come back up here for some reason, there's no shorts to be taken, huh? At least for me, anyway. You might have a plan. Could it fake out again from the highs of the neckline? Absolutely. It possibly can, unless you fake out and you got a possible entry. But I would be cautious. Tapping and tapping. What they say, right? The more you tap the level, right, it's going to end up breaking. So there's a big gap here, fair value gap. No major levels. The only level that you have is literally a resistance support flip here at 81k. When we connect the last lower high, so we've got this move down from 90k, this one, right? So this one becomes relatively interesting. That lower high is interesting. It's where we had the first major stop last week. So Fibonacci from the high to the low. You do have the golden pocket, the most important Fibonacci retracement from the latest move down, from the last major lower high before this volatility down that we had throughout Saturday. This was the golden pocket, support resistance flip. We did get a little consolidation there. This was on Saturday before moving down. You got a little bit of a zone right there with the golden pocket at 81k that you might get a rejection. It's aggressive. It is a bit of an aggressive short level, okay, but it's not the greatest, unfortunately. It's all about knowing where to put stop loss. You could get a quick reaction and a quick pullback from there. just a local level of resistance. I think it would be relatively complex to short here. If you get a little reaction, I mean, if you can detect that exhaustion, you know, the best way to get into this level is getting up there with an impulse. The best way is detecting that impulse if you want to get into a resistance support resistance flip, basically. So you would have to create that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you know, and get that exhaustion, have an impulse. You know, you've got an impulse here, you know, you got the correction, detect that, you know, large wave has to happen in the middle, and then get exhausted here for that longer pullback. Not a great, you know, it's not the greatest short. You really need to go on the lower time frame to detect that waves, but it's the next major resistance on the lower time frame, 81k territory. It's one of those shorts that I don't usually get into unless it's pretty damn clear that you have, you know, 5 waver into that zone where you can detect that 4 and 5. But yeah, not the greatest. Let me take a look at anchored VWAP here 1 second from the last major lower high on the higher time frame, which is 90.3k. And if we do have anchored VWAP, you do have that anchored VWAP from this lower high coming into 81k zone. Yeah, it is just a resistance. It is just a local resistance. I would still treat it as a potential scalp short. If it gets up there, rejects from the anchored VWAP, we can detect that 5 wave move to the upside. Not the greatest one. It's just no easy shorts at this moment after this big move down. Let's talk about the higher time frame scenario here. Bear with me. Just really trying to find those intraday scenarios, but it's not. Longs are looking more interesting. Longs for me are looking more interesting to take than shorts at this point when you've had such a significant move down. Of course, if this is not the scenario that is going to play out, where you have the ABC flats, we do have the impulsive move to the downside, right? Where you have a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 on the development, and then you get your wave 5 down. Wave 4s naturally are large, okay? Larger than your wave 2s most of the times, okay? They can be double, even triple the time of your wave 2s. What is interesting that if we do get that last consolidation here that ends up being corrective, that we will identify, you know, we will say, you know, this is not bullish, just like this was not bullish, right? It did take many weeks to develop, and then you got the impulse down. It was like, okay, guys, you know, it's right, you do get to that point of high probability. So this is going to take a few days to develop. And if this is going to develop a wave 4, as explained, if we do get that jump up to 81k, you're really coming to the limit territory of your wave 4. That is coming up to the 50% Fibonacci if we consider that we are forming a 5 wave move to the downside. So you would literally attempt a wave 4 scenario if you end up getting to the 81k zone. You know, I would, you know, you can treat it as a potential little swing short that might last a few days till you create that wave 5. If you're entering at the 81k territory, stop loss at the golden pocket for the invalidation of your wave 4 and target the lows. You know, it is an acceptable scenario, without a doubt. We are downtrending. It's not to get excited if we do get to 80k or 81k. You know, we're still very downtrending. There's still a good chance that we form a wave 4 here. 382 to the 50% Fibonacci is common area for wave 4s. It's probably going to take a few days. We got that support resistance flip. You know, your invalidation is 84.3k. You don't want 84.3k to be hit if you're expecting a 5 wave move down here. So yeah, I mean, it's a good stop loss. It's an okay risk to reward, you know, over 2.5, 3 to 1 risk to reward if it does push up to get above 81k. I do see it being acceptable. Risk, you know, it's a setup. You do have a potential of wave 4 forming in the next coming days. Invalidation is 84.3k, right? So it's a possibility. Now, what is more interesting is if we do form that wave 4, we reject, you know, at 80, 81k, and then we get that movement down to form the wave 5 to get below 74k. That's where, you know, this becomes very, very interesting. If we were to be forming a wave 1, well, literally here, let's just put it on the fib. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and obviously this would be the higher time frame 1, right, where you're looking for the 5th wave of the 5th wave. So, you know, 5th wave potential of the higher time frame from all-time high impulse, and wave 4 is long and complex, right? This was a little bit too long for my taste, but you know, it didn't hit the invalidation. You didn't hit your wave 1. As long as you do not hit your wave 1, it still can be considered, even though it took ages compared to your wave 2. But it's not an invalidation. So, you know, if you're looking for the wave 5 of the larger wave 5, I mean, look no further. A big bounce here is very, very, very attractive. Very, very attractive. A swing long from 74k to 67k, because we don't know how brutal this wave 5 can be internally here. But I would be I'll be very, very ready to look for longs if we get that push down below the lows, basically, right, from the wave 4 internally on the lower time frame, and then the wave 5. Because when you zoom out, it's a wave 5 of the wave 5, right? And you know, naturally a bigger relief rally in the next coming weeks is, you know, I'm interested in a swing long. You know, it is the moment to start looking for swing longs. It doesn't mean I'm bullish right now and we're gonna, you know, move up to 100k, but it becomes very, very interesting, you know, at what stage we are on the map, which is the charts, right? So unfortunately, this is going to take a few days. Price of Bitcoin is going to be relatively boring, in my opinion, for a few days. There is the detection, as explained, to look for that long position on the lower time frame, as explained at the beginning of the stream, where the first 30 minutes. There is the wave 4 detection, wave 4 speculation here at the 382 to the 50% Fibonacci. You do have that consolidation support resistance area between 382 and 50%, 80 to 81k territory. To only look for a leg down again here, naturally, to below $74,000. So, you know, that if you are looking for a little swing short, your 80, 81k zone is, you know, even to 82k, which is where we have 50%, that territory is the zone where we need to reject for the wave 4. So, you know, if you're wanting to take that trading opportunity, that trading scenario, your invalidation is the golden pocket, 84.3, and your target is the lows. And even not only the lows, you know, this could break down to 72 or 70k. So, you know, it can be a relatively nice 3-4 to 1 risk reward on the higher time frame. It would take a few days to develop naturally, as this is the 4-hourly time frame. But this could be a little bit noisy. If it is going to be a wave 4, I do expect it to be, you know, several days. If this is your wave 2 here, man, this wave 2 as a running flat, you know, this could be even over a week, even to 2 weeks of a range formation where you have a flat, then you form a zigzag down. You know, you literally form an X wave that can be a WXY, and then you form a zigzag up here, you know, throughout next week. And then you have a, you know, W flat, you know, or a zigzag up. It doesn't really matter, but we need information here to build up what kind of WXY could happen. We need the first, at least a W to the X wave to, you know, speculate on the Y wave. That could be a flat, it could be a triangle, and then get ready for the execution, right? This was the same as we had a few weeks ago in this range, if anybody remembers, right? What is this? You know, this is a bunch of noise and complex movement here. So when you are here, you just don't know exactly where the price is going to go. Sweep up the highs. Are you going to take out the lows? No, it was a fake out. Once you get a bit of more information, when you can build up the structure, you know, it was at this point that we detected that a flat here could happen, and you literally SFP from the highs to the lows. So you need a bit of more information, right? Once we get a little bit of information in the next couple of days, you know, we can start speculating on the WXY, you know, scenarios that could happen here. But yeah, where we at right now, you're kind of not interested in anything. If you catch the short yesterday, it moved down over $1,000. You know, just pay yourself. But there's literally nothing here to do. You know, the bigger moves will happen naturally. Higher time frame swing longs look extremely attractive. We are taking a look at other markets. We were just pointing out silver yesterday, and silver is having a significant bounce. Okay, we are adding some commodities and other markets here, but silver inside of the trading community, looking for a significant bounce to happen here. Okay, we were just trading at the low 70k region. This was in the last couple of days. 1.618 expansion, which held nicely as support. Okay, literally the low $70. We're already at $87 silver here. You're back testing the golden ratio from the bear market of 2011 here, from the highs to the lows. And this is very, very strong support when we consider Fibonacci. And when we take a look at silver, we're already bouncing, you know, over 10% from this region already. 17%, plus 17%, back testing that 1.618 expansion, sorry, from the entire bear market. We broke out of it, 2.618 back tested, bounce at the 1.618, and yeah, I mean, it's just getting a beautiful bounce. And this happened to Bitcoin in the previous cycles as well. It's pretty interesting, this Fibonacci expansion on the higher time frame. It just gives you possible swing trades. You know, when we zoom out on Bitcoin on the previous cycle, I did talk about this yesterday, but you know, let's talk about it again, because it's pretty fascinating how this expansion 1.618, you know, golden ratio works. You got the major breakout after the bear market from all-time high to the low. You get your Fibonacci from high to low. Bear market breakout. Look at the back test that you got at the 1.618. Beautiful back test. Not even one, you know, not only once but twice, with major bounces. That's currently what happened on silver in just in the last couple of days here. You know, back testing that expansion 1.618. You know, beautiful retest right there, with over a 17% pump in the last couple of days here on silver already. So just something I want to point out, that we are taking into consideration not only with Elliott wave theory, but using Fibonacci and many other tools, of course, because I know Elliott wave theory can be a little bit heavy, and we are adding silver, S&P 500 inside of the trading community. And we got Bitcoin, crypto, we got Devil as coach, Dylan also talking about altcoins and different setups. You have your chance right now, guys, to join not only for Bitcoin, but also for other markets. Bitcoin is the main one eventually. You do get 2 months for free if you only sign up and deposit for your own trading on one of the affiliate exchanges, of course, Bluffin being one of the favorite. Velto also is a great option. You get 2 months for free, guys, inside of the trading community, which is, it is a community. You have your open chat with people sharing their knowledge and different things. You got also myself, Devilt, not only on Bitcoin, other markets, we integrating as well right now. It is your chance to get 2 months for free, guys. Not 1 month, 2 months inside of the trading community. And it's super simple. Use one of the affiliate exchanges, down below. Deposit for your own trading. It's for your own trading, okay? And you get into the community. Let's go. Send me a DM right away if you are interested in that, guys. Super simple to join. I'll share the instructions once I get the DM. DM me access so you can get that. Much love. This is the super cycle. Venki, much love to you. I'm pinning Dogecoin. We haven't seen some altcoins for quite a lot. Yes, not only diamond handed, also got crystal balls. You're damn right. Smash up the like button. Do we have Devil here? In the comment section, let's go. We got Devil, the legend. Let's see how many likes we do have. We at least at 200. 172. Let me go around the table and I'll go through the comment section a little bit, explaining a few of the scenarios for Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to go very far away for the next coming days. Yes, we can test highs, test lows. If we get that breakdown here, pay attention. I'll be paying attention, of course, with the trading community. If we get a large volume move here and we start chopping down below 74k, holy smokes, you know, it's going to be time to look for longs. I'm sorry, but do you know how to do it? We will be paying attention to the internal movements on the lower time frame inside of the trading community, and we'll be getting ready for those swing longs. You might think I'm entering right now. Well, no, I'm not in a long position on gold. On silver, yes, but not on gold. On Bitcoin, no longs either on BTCC or Bluffin, which are the two main exchanges that I use. And I am very, very interested in the long, very, very interested. But we need to be a little bit patient. We'll have a great opportunity very, very soon. And you know, obviously the Legends trading, the community, the trading community, call it Legends trading community still, will be obviously knowing first. So if you are interested, it is your chance. Send me access as a DM, 2 months for free. Easy peasy. Just sign up and deposit for your own trading. That's for your own trading. Okay, and you get inside of the community, which is packed with value, guys. It's insane. We're adding everything. We're going full on 2026. Not only Bitcoin, we're also adding S&P 500 silver, which I will be adding, you know, even more throughout the next coming weeks. Anyway, let's go. Buenos dias, Minase. Let's smash up that like button if you do enjoy the content. We provide education, Bitcoin analysis, getting ready to see what could happen, and getting ready for the setups, of course. Whoever shorted yesterday, I have to say, congratulations, but it's only a little scalp. It was only a little teeny weeny scalp. We can't get any big moves at the moment, guys, here. There's no big moves. Last week, we were screaming about, guys, we are looking for, you know, $80,000 to be hit in a matter of days, right? We don't know how many days we have left here. A regular flat triangle, you know, this is going to pop already. It was ready to pop down to take out 80K. I hope nobody attempted any long positions here. If you're watching my channel, I'm sure you haven't. There was no longs to be looked for. We were very much aware of that $80,000 being days away. This move was very much anticipated. We're just, you know, looking at the different movements that could develop here as corrections. Okay, we mentioned many scenarios. They were all corrective though, but there's not looking for longs overall. No longs. Shorts are very attractive. Now longs are attractive, so that's what we're doing. We're trying to spot here the long scenarios, right? Do we get that fourth wave developed? That's going to take a few days. Come down in that 5-wave move to the downside. Do we come down from here already? You know what? This could still be considered as the internal 5th wave. Bear with me here, because if this is a running flat and you come down to the lows between today and tomorrow, this could still be the C wave, all right, of that ABC. It could still very much be so. Ideally, you don't get a major breakout here, because we would be coming down to the limit for the flat here. I think, well, we still have a lot of room. The 1.618 extension is all the way down at 70,000. Oh, we still have plenty of room here to get down 73, even 72, if we form an internal 5th wave. So yeah, this could still be in the internal 4th wave if this turns out to be a regular flat, because we did hit the highs. However, I'm concerned about this extension that might be just very, very close to the 1.618. Still at 73.2k. Very interested in the double bottom here. Very, very interested, especially if we come down from here. Oh my, I'm interested in a local double bottom. Very, very much. Regardless of, because this could be the internal 5th wave. If we roll over from here, we'll leave that ready. I know Devils is very much aware of that scenario. He's an absolute machine. Much love to everybody. Smash up the like button. Let's get to 200. Over 200. Come on, guys. What the heck is going on? I'll go through the comments, okay? Let me just get a drink of water, stand up for a minute, and we'll go through the comment section. All right, comment section it is. Comment section it is. Much love. No longs taken at that level, but also missed the shorts. Axikuno. Hello, King's Destroyer. Much love. It's over for the Bulls and Bears. Yeah, for both of them, really, because a range formation could be very much happening here. Right, we could be forming, that wave 4 is usually wave 4s. This is the 4-hourly time frame. They are usually long and they're boring. Chopping highs and lows. It could be very rangy here for the next coming days, guys, unfortunately, if that is the case. So it is kind of over for the Bears and the Bulls, because it's probably going to be a boring area here before any big move happens. I do agree with you, Axel. Tap the like button for the TA. Nico Sobi, much love to you, my man. Thanks for the support as always, and joining the live stream, of course. Crypto Cowboy Oz, sorry I'm late. What have I missed? You haven't missed much. We're just getting some scenarios ready, some setups ready here on the channel on today's live stream. I mean, Bitcoin's not doing anything really. It's stuck. Right, New York Open in 25 minutes, but I have to rush, guys. I have to go. I got family here still for a few days, and family comes first. Then you guys go second, okay? That didn't sound right. I'm probably going to get lots of people unsubscribing for that. The community is first. But yeah, I've got some family. Don't get family around much, guys, so need to give them a little bit of love and attention. But yeah, we haven't missed anything. Crypto Cowboy Oz. We've been stuck. We did a live stream yesterday and we were trading here. So we're literally at the same price from yesterday's live stream. Just at 78k region. Acceptable short as a scalp. We talked about the long setup. Shorts, I think, should be taken at 81k area. Pay attention. We explained it on stream. And the long setup was also explained on stream here more internally. where we are at the moment, there's not much to do. Legends, gonna be snooze fest until October. Yeah, it is. Max, much love. And now, Andy, family before live stream for the very important community. Much love to you, not quicker. Do you scalp the high and low ranges with small positions, or just wait for the big moves? I'm more of a big move guy. That's, you know, I used to be more of a scalper a few years ago, but you know, I realized that I don't need to scalp anymore, and I look for the bigger moves eventually. I do provide scalps, not that I take every single one. We talk about day trade scalping scenarios like this one yesterday, which was, we just tapped the high, guys. It was not an easy short, because it's always nice to get that fair value gap, you know, hit and then short with stop loss at the high. We just gently tapped the level, not creating a massive SFP, but that was an interesting short trade. And for today, we need a little bit of more information, as explained on the other scenarios throughout the stream, okay? There's literally, man, we've just been in this range for 24 hours. Holy smokes, it is boring. So I've explained a little bit of the movements, a bit of the possibilities. Guys, thank you very much for joining today's stream and smashing up the like button. We'll be back live tomorrow, yes, at New York Open, and we're going to do a longer live stream. However, if you don't see me here on YouTube, you can see me in the trading community, and it's your chance right now to get 2 months for free. Just send me the word access. I'll send you the information, which is super simple, guys. You need to sign up on one of the affiliates, okay? Because a lot of people DM me, and once they see you sign up through affiliate, you know, they kind of, oh, okay. Super simple. It's for your own trading. Little sign up, you deposit, and it's for your own trading, okay? It's for you. So just to let you know, all right? Much love to everybody. If you want that, send me access on the Telegram. Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow. Let's see if we can find the overall higher time frame structure. Is it going to be bullish? Is it going to be bearish? I'm very much interested in exhaustion here and a reversal from this low 70K zone for the next coming weeks. We just need to be patient and get a bit more information, and then we can have the highest probability, bigger movement, which eventually we're not having right now. The big move already happened, right, last week. We can't expect big moves every day, right? We need to form ranges, get the information, and take that information in our advantage. Thank you, legends. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.